Hey guys, so we are actually back inside today. It's late. It is almost 9 o'clock at night and I am actually just about to start some seeds. Today was not a great day for me. I actually unexpectedly went into work last night because there was an emergency call out. I was supposed to work today, but went in last night, didn't get to sleep at all. So that was really rough. So made it through the shift, but I crashed so hard when I got in this morning. And when I got up today, obviously just still groggy and fatigued. And work was fine last night actually, but I made a financial mistake and it just really brought me down. I was feeling really bummed out because I made this mistake. Definitely a hard lesson to learn. But I was in a funk for a little while and started getting out of it. And I said, you know what, let me just do some gardening. Today was really rainy and windy, not a day to go outside, but I needed to start some of the spring flowers anyway. So I said, let's do it. And honestly, my mood really improved afterwards. It's already almost April. I am a little bit behind, but I don't know if this happens to anybody else. I feel like, and maybe it's because I'm a new gardener, I feel as if I have a hard time so far getting started with the seeds when I'm supposed to, you know? I'm supposed to be starting them 6 to 8 weeks, some of them, before my last frost date. My last frost date is coming up in the next 3 weeks, I think. But I think that's going to be okay for these. I'm going to start them inside. Hopefully by the time we get right past the frost date, the weather will be warm enough and they'll be maybe big enough that I can put them outside. What I'm going to be starting today primarily, I think just today all I'm going to be starting are Cosmos and stock. And at least for the Cosmos, I think you can direct seed them, but I'm going to sow inside. So I also wanted to start poppies, which is another one that I think is often recommended to start outside. But I realized I think I used all of my poppy seeds last year. I think that might have been one of the few things where I bought an appropriate number of seeds and I used all of them. I didn't have great luck with the Cosmos or the poppies, well, or even really the stock last year. Again, I think I'm new to seed starting, so I didn't get great germination. I didn't quite know what I was doing. I didn't know for the poppies that they needed to be cold stratified. Lots of different things. Lots of mistakes were made, but the few flowers that did come up, I really liked them. So I want to start them inside today. And then once we're past my last frost date, which I believe is April 8th this year, then I will plant them outside in the garden. So tonight we're just gonna get started on the seeds. Okay, so I have here all of the stock seeds, Cosmos seeds, and this is some carnation seeds that I think I'm gonna get started tonight. So there's 12 stock packets that I have, all different colors. I don't even know if I used all of these last year, but you know what? I think we're going for it tonight. I'm telling you guys, today was one of those days where you kind of just wanna listen to sad music, you know, broken heart, your teenage boyfriend broke up with you, and I did do some of that. Drink some wine, but instead I ended up watching some gardening videos, and like I said, kind of got out of my funk and said, let's just go do some gardening, and I definitely feel a lot better. So just like the last time when we were starting seeds for the winter sowing method, I got my soil. I'm still not using the seed starting mixes, which is usually what's suggested. I'm using the transplant mix soil from Gardener's Supply. It's a little bit more enriched. I still think it'll end up being okay. So I'm going to use that instead. So we're just filling this up. Most of the trays that I'm going to be using tonight are the 24 cell trays. And honestly, we're just going for it tonight. I haven't really planned this out. I don't know how many seeds I'm starting. I think I'm gonna go through all of the packets for sure. But how many in each tray? I don't know. I actually think I'm gonna I might end up, if I can, I'm gonna do more than I usually do. And I say that because in the past, I think sometimes I think about the flowers like I do the vegetables, where, you probably, if you're not a huge gardener or farmer, you don't need 30 tomato plants, right? The average person doesn't need quite that many to get all the tomatoes they need for the year. But so I would treat the flowers the same way, and then I would find I didn't have enough flowers. So I think I need to think a little bit bigger for the flowers, that I need to be planting more than I was, because I would try and just do a couple of each type and then break them up. And then all of a sudden I wasn't getting a nice, full, luscious looking clump. I was primarily just getting little sparse flowers around, which looked really nice, but didn't quite have the impact that I would have liked them to. Okay, so I did a little bit of thinking, and I'm going to use 4 trays to do the 12 packets of stock. And I broke them up into color groups, mostly just based on their names. I'll probably put up on screen what these look like, but so I'm gonna group them together a little bit by type or by color. So this is the iron stock yellow, apricot. Then I have iron stock brown, vintage brown, iron blue, iron purple. So those will go together. And then I have a lot in the pink family, pink and reddish, Venus cherry, iron rose pink, iron cherry, iron pink, and then I have cat's ruby, cat's bright rose, and then cat's cherry blossom. So these are just going to be loose groupings, just to sort of give me an idea so that I can combine everything a little bit more accurately. Okay, so I had to pause and do a little bit of thinking, because my post-night shift brain definitely does not work well. I am 100% one of those people that when I don't get enough sleep, I can literally feel my brain function start to deteriorate. So I think I decided what I want to do. I'm going to break up the stock into 4 of the 24 cell seed starting containers, and I'm going to group them loosely by color. I'm going to do 1 container full of the purple, so the iron stock purple and iron stock blue, because purple's my favorite color. So we're gonna start with those. Based on the packet, the directions are to plant them, sow them 1/4 inch deep. It's supposed to be about 5 to 6 weeks before your last frost date. We're at about 3-ish weeks or so. But like I said, I think it's gonna end up being okay. I'm actually like a little bit excited about this season. I think I've gotten a little bit of experience from last year. And so I think things are gonna be better this year. So I'm actually really excited. So I'm gonna start with those. I went to Home Depot tonight and got these plant tags, because wait till I do the update on the winter sowing method. Did I go get tags like I said I was going to? No. Did I put those containers outside and subsequently there's a rain and wind storm that blew away those Post-it notes that I put on? Yes. So do I know what's planted out there at all? No. But it'll be an adventure, so that might be fun, but label your stuff, guys. So the first thing I'm going to do right now is I'm going to write labels so I know what is what in these containers. Okay, so I think what I'll do for these next set is there's the pinks and the more red ones, at least that's how I'm imagining them in my head. And I think I will give 1 pack a row in each of the remaining 2 trays. So the pinks will have a tray. I have 4 packets. They'll each get a row. I'm gonna do 2 seedlings, 2 seeds per cell. And then the darker red pinks are going to, same thing. They're going to get their own tray. Each packet is going to get its own row, 2 seeds per cell. Labels. Okay, so the first one, as a matter of fact, we're going to do all the labels all at once. So let me get 4 of these. Oh, I really hope I can reuse these because they will come in handy. So, stock. The first one is going to be Iron Pink, Iron Cherry, Rose Pink, Venus Cherry. All right. Feel really good about these labels, guys. I mean, I feel really good that we have some labels. Okay, so now we're just gonna push all the seeds in. Okay, this tray is done. Okay, so pinks are done. You know what the crazy thing about this is too, and this is probably true for all things, everything takes longer than you think it's going to. So I'm almost done with the stock and I still have to do the Cosmos. But I've been doing this for a little while, and let me tell you, this is not the first time that I've done this where I'm starting seeds at I'm starting seeds at night. Just sometimes I just, just my schedule. You gotta garden while you can, got stuff done while you can, and it's 10:30 at night, but one, my schedule's a little bit thrown off from working a night shift last night, which would probably say, shouldn't you go to bed then? But I don't have work until noon tomorrow, so probably I'm gonna definitely call it quits by midnight tonight, get myself in bed, and get my circadian rhythm back on track. Yeah. Labels first. Vintage Brown finally gets to go in. Cat's Ruby. Cat's Bright Rose, and Cat's Cherry Blossom. Whew. All right, stock is all done. Definitely getting a little bit tired. It's getting late. It is after 11 o'clock at night, and I definitely thought about stopping, but the next few days the weather's gonna be pretty good, and I actually have a bunch of days off, thankfully again. So I'm gonna wanna do a lot of projects outside. So I'm just gonna plant or sow the Cosmos into these last 3 trays that I have. These 2 are broken because my uncle accidentally broke them when a few years ago I was giving him some seedlings, and I had walked away to go get some more from the car, and I think he thought these were, those like cheap plastic ones, and he was having some trouble getting them out, the seedlings out, so he bent them and cracked 2 of them in half before I got there. But they still work, so I'm gonna use them tonight. So we're just gonna blast through the Cosmos. I separated these again into, this time I actually wrote a little bit of what the colors are on here because, for example, this Cosmos Zinnias, Exinnia, I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly. I wouldn't know based on the name what the color was. So I wrote like, this one's a bright pink rose. This one's a light pink. Okay, so let's just try and get through these because I am definitely getting overtired. So labels. All right, so the first one is going to be this X Zinnia. This one is called Double Click Bicolor Pink. This one is Rubenza. And this one is a Cupcakes Blush. So I think we'll start with those, the more pinky ones. Okay, for the Cosmos, it says to just cover the seats lightly. So I think I'm gonna continue that same technique and basically just put them on the surface and then lightly tap them in. The next set is gonna be the lighter ones, some whites, some yellows and oranges. So this is Bright Lights. Double Click Mix. Double Click Snow Puff. Afternoon White. Okay. Whew. One more tray. Fatigue is really setting in, guys. But we're almost done. Almost done. All right, so these are just gonna have 2 blends. I think for the 2 blends, I think I'm actually just gonna put 2 seeds each in each cell. Okay, I think we are officially done. Whew, guys, that was a long one. So I am going to clean up here. I'm gonna get everything, like I said before, spritz up with water, get everything put away. I am going to go turn on a YouTube video, gardening of course, and get everything cleaned up, get everybody situated, and get myself tucked into bed. So I hope if anybody else out there is having a bad day for whatever reason, I hope that this video could help uplift your spirits a little bit. Go watch a gardening video, go read a good book, but especially if you can, I hope you get outside and enjoy your garden. Bye guys, see you later.